Thank you very much, Jackie, and a pleasant good night to all listening this broadcast. New regulations have been published. These regulations came into effect at 5:01 a.m. on Monday, 12th July, and will expire at 5 a.m. on Monday, July 26. As indicated by the Prime Minister in his address recently, these regulations do not provide any 24-hour curfew. However, a nightly curfew will remain for the duration of the regulations. The nightly curfew will commence at 9:01 p.m. and will end at 5 a.m. the following day. This means that during this period of curfew, every person shall remain confined to their place of residence and avoid contact outside of their family. Some exceptions are provided, however. Essential workers who are required to report for work or for travel for emergencies. All businesses and enterprises are required to adjust their opening and closing hours to allow sufficient time for their staff and customers to adhere to the night curfew. Persons other than essential workers who are required to move from his or her home during the period of night curfew shall first obtain approval from the Commissioner of Police in order to do so. The night curfew is part of the phased approach to the full reopening of the country. We can expect a further easing of restrictions at the end of this 2 weeks period, provided that we continue to observe the protocols and our situation with respect to new cases continue to improve. I will highlight a few of the provisions of this new regulation now, and we will discuss others further during the discourse tonight. Resumption of work. All businesses and offices may resume their business operations. Where a business is unable to resume its operations by its employees practicing social distancing and physical distancing, it shall allow its employees to work remotely from home utilizing virtual means. Businesses and establishments which can operate should be guided by the following provisions. 1. They must ensure that all customers and staff maintain physical distance of 6 feet inside or out of their business if there is a line to enter. 2. They must determine the total number of persons that may be permitted in the establishment at any one time by permitting one person for every 30 square feet of floor space. 3. They must place distance markers at least 6 feet apart, indicating where each customer must stand on a line at the checkout or a point outside of the premises. 4. Place distance markers at least 6 feet apart outside of the establishment, indicating where customers must stand while waiting to enter. Regulation 13 provides that a person shall wear a face mask covering his or her nose and mouth when indoor or outdoors in a public place. Churches. All religious places of instruction or worship may reopen in accordance with the provisions of Regulation 6 and 13. Regulation 6 speaks to social and physical distancing, and Regulation 13 speaks to the wearing of masks. Regulation 10(7) provides that all street vendors shall operate within the confines of the public market, and an accurate record of all persons visiting the market shall be kept, including their names, addresses, and telephone numbers. All persons using the facilities of the public market shall adhere to social distance and physical distancing protocols, as well as hygiene protocols and the wearing of face masks. I know that street vending is a topical issue, and we are quite cognizant of the constraints at the public market due to its size and the importance of our vendors to the economy. I wish to assure you, however, that the relevant authorities are actively considering other locations in Bastia where food vendors in particular can operate. It is important that we do not allow the disorganized sidewalk vending to return downtown Bastia, because in addition to the traffic safety risk it poses, it presents risk of exposure to the coronavirus as a consequence of the type of gatherings this activity attracts. We therefore crave your support and understanding as we strive to improve the environment for our vendors. Events. Regulation 8 provides that there shall be no mass gatherings, at least for the duration of the next 2 weeks. Limited social activities will be allowed. However, permission must be sought from the Commissioner of Police through the website www.police.kn. Restaurants and takeout food vendors may operate for the purposes of food delivery or takeout services, or for in-dining. However, all COVID-19 protocols must be adhered to. Bars may be open for the sale of liquor. Again, all persons, including the staff, must adhere to all COVID-19 protocols, including the wearing of face masks. Salons and barbershops may open, and no more than 2 persons shall be allowed to remain in the waiting area. Regulation 11 provides some limits or some restrictions on the number of passengers that can travel on taxis and ferries. They shall be allowed to carry no more than 75% of the carrying capacity. However, passenger buses shall not carry more than 10 passengers at any one time. All persons shall wear face masks at all times, and the windows of the vehicle shall remain open depending on the weather, and all persons shall practice good hand hygiene and proper sanitary behavior. Regulation 15 provides for management teams and clubs within each sport discipline to apply to the Ministry of Sports for permission to host inter-team or inter-club competitive matches. However, a fully vaccinated person may attend amateur, competitive, or other recreational sporting events, and all spectators shall be required to produce proof of full vaccination by presenting the COVID-19 vaccination record or other valid proof of vaccination authorized by the Ministry of Health before entry into any sporting event. The organizers of the event shall ensure that a maximum capacity of 50% is not exceeded inside the building or stadium. They shall also ensure that an accurate record of all persons in attendance at the event is kept, including their names, addresses, telephone numbers, and patient number on the COVID-19 vaccination record card. All persons shall adhere to social distancing and physical distancing protocol, as well as the wearing of face masks. The regulation also provides for severe penalties for failure to abide by its stipulations. Regulation 16 says a person who contravenes or fails to comply with these regulations shall be liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, or both. Additionally, a compliance officer or a police officer may issue a fixed penalty notice to businesses or individuals for breaches of the COVID-19 Act. These notices, or tickets as we call them, carries fines up to $500 per violation. It is important to note that over 350 of such tickets have been issued to date by our police and compliance team, and 50 persons have been arrested for breaches of various aspects of the regulation, ranging from breaching the night curfew to hosting social activities without permission. While we prefer voluntary compliance, our police officers stand ready and will not shy away from enforcing the law to protect the public health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Superintendent.